That said, I wanted to address a topic that I think is going to be one of our sort of headliners of the show, and we'll see how many we can get to in an hour and a half. But we want to talk about what makes collecting fun. Because I think at the end of the day, this is really a hobby that is escapism. It's fun. It's meant to be enjoyable, but sometimes it's not enjoyable. But how do we make it more enjoyable so that throughout our collecting journey, we're actually having fun? It's going to be full of ups and downs. Sometimes you're going to get a broken piece. Sometimes you're going to have an issue with a shop. Sometimes you're going to buy something from someone and it's actually broken. It just depends. You're going to have ups and downs, hills and valleys, so to speak. But what makes collecting fun? So with that said, Kiko, I actually want to start with you on this one. What do you actually do to make collecting fun? Do you guys hear like a buzzing or something?
I do. I was wondering if it was me.
Let me mute Carlos and see if I don't think it's Carlos. There we go. Now it's gone. Okay, cool. All right, so Kiko, go ahead. What do you think?
Well, Drago has made his appearance at 24 minutes.
24 minutes,
so
dude.
If you guys had
it's got to be some kind of record.
Yeah. So he's excited about the dog outside. But this is a question that I saw on the docket when you kind of sent it to me. I was like, hey, we really need to make sure to talk about that one. And Carlos and the buzz is back. Is it Carlos making the buzz?
Yeah, I think so. Let me try muting Carlos again. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's Carlos. Yeah.
Might be a mic power surge thing.
But we can't hear you at all anymore, Carlos.
Yeah, that's probably why. He probably is cable. So anyway, Kiko, go ahead.
What makes collecting fun? Back to the basics here is that I really want to talk about this. I think this is important because I think there's a lot of people that collect that don't have fun. And I think that's so important because I was thinking about this. I know at the end of the show, we always say, hey, what's going on the channel and all that stuff. If you did not have YouTube, if you didn't have social media, if you unplugged all that stuff and you walked into your collection room, do you still like it? Would you still be having fun with your collection? I've not made a video in 2 months, honestly, and I'm having fun still. And I bought a few different things because I'm a collector and I like collecting. But we've talked about all kinds of people's opinions, breastgate, as we just talked about just now. It's almost as if people have gotten to the point to where the drama and the complaining about figures or the complaining about the price increases or companies or resellers, that supersedes all of the collecting. Because if you go to, I understand we have a place for collecting, it's supposed to be drama free and all that stuff, but it's hard to escape, honestly. And I honestly wonder, do people have fun collecting? Why do you do this other than just to come and see our beautiful faces potentially? That's a big question to ask. And I would like to ask everybody on this on this show right now is that, are you literally having fun doing this? Or are you stressed? What is your situation? So what makes collecting fun to me is exactly what I mentioned, is that, I unplugged from the socials and unplugged from the YouTube side of things because I didn't want to have validation showing, look, I got something new, everybody. Here's King Shark. Everyone like this? I don't care if you like it or not. That's my thing. And so I think that's where we really need to get to when it boils down to is, are you getting things that you like, that you want? And when you start collecting things that mean nothing to you, you're not having fun. You're just doing it for clout or trying to get something from somebody that there's no purpose to it. And it's ultimately going to be on a buy, sell, trade thing eventually, or you're putting it on eBay because you're trying to thin out your collection. Collecting should be, hey, what do I got to do that gives me a little tickle in my tummy when I get something that makes me happy? Is it because you get to see a nostalgic movie moment, a nostalgic TV moment, something that transports you back to what it meant when you first saw those things? We've talked about this on the show ad nauseum, is that the reason we collect these 6-scale figures is because they're the best representation of the things that make us happy. And it's fun to me because I was like, okay, what can I do to build out my display? What can I do to make it better? What are some things that I can add that, I've been chasing? What can I thin out to where I can say, okay, I'm out of room, so let me move some things out. What can I replace it with now? That's the fun thing to me. And I want to make sure every time I pick something up that I'm doing it with intention and because I want it, not because someone wants to see it or someone has to see it or I'm looking for a reaction or something like that. So I've said all that to say make sure you're collecting because you want to and that you actually enjoy this. It should not be, oh my God, did you see the latest thing? Because I saw it on Reddit today even. They're like,
Oh, did you?
It's like, when are we going to stop supporting this company? When are we going to stop doing this? I can't believe it. This. It's like 15 different posts about all this negativity and not one person talking about, anything that's relevant. And so I think there's a lot of unhappy people out there. So let's do a gut check. Let's do a reality check and make sure that you are having fun. And if not, find out what makes you happy and do that. That's the most important thing.
That's fair. At the end of the day, you're trying to preach a message of positivity. What makes collecting fun is collecting. So I think that's more than reasonable. Marco, what do you think, bro? What makes collecting fun for you?
Yeah, so first of all, I feel attacked, Kiko. No, I'm joking.
Marco's the one who posted
great
that post.
Yeah,
so.
That's right. I was the one that created that.
Yeah.
No, I think you're onto something though, but I'm going to disagree in terms of the complaining portion. I think that's part of the fun of collecting for a lot of us, if it's constructive, right? Because these are high-priced items, so sometimes you do want to fly spec them and you want to complain to your friends about, this doesn't quite look like this and this doesn't match up, or this doesn't, meet my expectations. So I think that kind of plays in the community aspect, because, sometimes collecting can be very like a lonely hobby, but when you have other people that you can, either complain to or have, moments of joy with, I think that's what, for me, makes it a lot of fun. So I think the complaining is part of it, but it shouldn't be all of it, right? We shouldn't be so miserable that, we get so swept up in the breasts of a figure. It's just, just a portion of it. The community aspect. And then, like you mentioned, a lot of the times it's representation for things that we love. So I'm a big movie guy, and I know a lot of us are. And so, having that representation of films on my shelf as a piece of art, that brings me a lot of joy. And I can just stare at these things for hours, as like a lot of us do. But sometimes it's just something that looks badass. Like, it just looks cool, and it doesn't necessarily have an emotional connection to me. For instance, Venom, the character does. I loved Venom growing up, but the films I just did not like. But because it looks so cool, I'm able to have that representation of something that just looks really badass on my shelf, and is a character that I love. I would say that's what makes collecting fun, is being able to have that representation, and then being able to share our feelings about this art with a community.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. And I get where you're coming from too, as far as criticism, because that's something that if companies don't hear that criticism, then they maybe won't know. But I think that's maybe I think you guys are actually in agreement, you and Kiko. Kiko is saying basically constructive criticism, from what I'm understanding, is good, but sort of the criticism that takes us away from collecting about everything else.
Criticism and bitching are two different things.
Right.
There you go.
Right. That's fair.
No, totally. I agree with you, Kiko.
See, there we go. Common ground. So Carlos, what do you think, bro? What makes collecting fun for you?
Man, I guess I don't know. I couldn't really hear what the nonsense that Kiko was saying because I had to leave because of my technical problems. But for me, man, it's really what I really enjoy.
Shit.
Yeah, the usual shit.
Yeah. I like the chase, bro. I mean, for me, what makes it fun is going after signatures, or going after like grails, or having sometimes things that other people, maybe missed out on, and I really want. So like that chase, I find it really fun, not really stressful. Not for every single thing, but I will like that. Also, like having, like Marco said, having cool pieces. You know what I mean? Like I just recently got a full die-cast Captain America shield and a signature plaque to go with it. So that stuff really makes me happy, because those are things that I specifically wanted, that are custom for me, that I specifically looking for. Honestly, more and more, Hot Toys is definitely taking a step back as far as what I find to be fun, just because I feel like, well, for me at least, I'm very, what's the word here? I want to make my budget stretch as far as I can. So I know I can wait on Hot Toys to, go down in value and pick them up for cheaper. So I've been really getting my enjoyment from other things, like chasing grails, going back and picking up some pieces I really missed, signature stuff, so other things that I found really, a lot of enjoyment in it. So, yeah.
Is chasing bargains when it comes to Hot Toys or 1/6 like part of the fun as well? Because I think it
not really, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I guess
what I mean?
It's predictable at this point, but I enjoy
like at
that
this point,
aspect.
I'm like
Kind of like thrifting, though, right?
Yeah, like thrifting.
It's just
yeah.
expensive
expected,
thrift.
That's still a thing. People thrift.
It's expected. It's like, bro, it's like the other day I was like, oh, 20% off. I was like, that's not even enticing anymore. Give me 30.
Yeah, right. Give
That's
me
the
40.
starting point
30.
right there.
I know
30
the
and
starting
out,
point
listen.
should be 30, dude. Yeah, it depends on the
20 I was
figure, but
like-
yeah. Some are much easier to, scout the deals for, and some you have to wait longer for. Like Chromander, for example, probably going to be discounted at some point, but it just might take some
100%.
time because right now it's pretty hot. So I think Sideshow is going to be like, we ain't discounting that thing until we have to. So, it's not
until
like some of
season
these other
4,
figures.
until season 3 diecast comes out, then we'll
Right.
discount it.
Exactly. Then we'll discount it. Yep. Exactly.
Right.
That's exactly what's going to happen. But yeah, I think it's just at the end of the day, I'm with you guys. I think it's a matter of getting something that you truly love. And I think the chase can be a fun part of it for sure. And I think also just that unboxing experience and also that satisfaction you get personally from setting something up that feels like it belongs in your collection, that feels exciting and nostalgic to you. That's the reason I got Shang-Chi despite the breast issue. Because I see that and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to pose it away. And I love the character. I love the film. I'm going to get it. And it's the same with Loki. I mean, everyone at the time hated that Loki when it came out. A lot of people did. And then I got it in hand. I'm like, dude, this thing is great. The head sculpt with the helmet on, yeah, but helmet off, not as much. But nonetheless, I'm still very excited about it because I love Loki. It's one of my favorite figures in my collection. So that said, guys, thank you so much for your thoughts on that one.